What's up, everybody? Welcome to Waypoints Media Club, the place where we'll discuss everything from movies, video games, TV shows, but never books. Today, we are discussing Marvel's What If Episode 6, What If Killmonger Had Saved Tony Stark? I think this is the best episode we've gotten so far, personally.
I don't.
Oh, okay.
I hated this.
I don't, only because they took out the MySpace reference in the original movie, so I'm very upset about that.
But then you have all these kids watching What If being like, what the fuck is MySpace?
Yeah, it's fair. That's fair.
So what did you... Oh, keep going. You're good.
I liked it. It wasn't my favorite, but I don't think it's my least favorite either. But yeah, I had a good time.
Leon, what are your just general thoughts?
I hate Killmonger so much. I don't care about him. I don't think he's a good villain. Everybody loses their tits for him. I think he's a good villain in the context of Black Panther. Do not get me wrong. I think in the context of the film that we get in the real MCU,
The sacred timeline.
Sacred timeline.
Thank you.
Timeline.
On Earth 616, like, he's a good villain for that version of T'Challa. I hate him so much.
Outside of
like
anything.
This was all so fucking dumb. Like, it's still just dumb. Like, you're just, again, it's one of those times where I'm like, dude, like, it's a man thing. Like, repeat your plan back to me and tell me that this is logical. Repeat it back
I don't know.
to me.
He got his plan.
And if you can defend to me, that's not what I'm saying. Repeat your plan back to me, and if you can defend to me why it is absolutely not batshit crazy, you can go do it. This plan is insane and incredibly stupid, and depends on everyone being dumb.
Wait, which part was insane to you?
All of it, just all of it was you. Okay, why is T'Chaka in this universe dumb as shit? Why are they all so stupid?
That was the other thing. T'Chaka was like, there were moments where where you see his face and it looked like he was nervous that maybe he was gonna out what T'Chaka did to, what's his brother's name? N'Jobu? N'Jobu, yeah. And he didn't, but then T'Challa's mom seemed to be was like, there is something fishy here. Like, I think he was being super nice so that way he wouldn't barge in and be like, you killed my father.
Your 9-year-old figured it out. Your 9-year-old.
She's super smart, though.
Even if your 9-year-old is super smart, if your 9-year-old realizes who she can and cannot trust before you do, you need to be happy that she just has that inside her, because you've clearly failed her.
Yeah, wait, so this whole
not
episode takes place in 2008, right?
Yes, this all takes place in 2008. So she's like 9. She's like 9 or 10.
I thought she was like in her 20s, though.
In this episode?
No.
Oh, in Black Panther, she's like 16.
She's like Peter's age.
Yeah, her and Peter are the same, like, within a couple of years of each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
and don't get me wrong, I loved Tiny Shuri. She was very cute, and the girl doing her voice acting was giving the most.
Yeah, this was like I said last week. It was like, oh, they basically were able to get everyone back. This was the episode where like no one came back. Except Jon Favreau.
Like Jon Favreau.
And Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah. And then Chadwick Boseman, obviously.
Yeah.
But, I mean, did any of us really expect Gwyneth Paltrow to come back?
No.
Oh, no. Yeah, she's kind of an interesting person, so.
She's too busy selling, vagina eggs.
Please don't use vagina eggs. I know that's not our target demo, but please don't. It's not good for you. It's not safe. You're going to hurt yourself. Don't do it unless a doctor tells you to. Please, please, please.
Whoever's editing this, put in the more you know.
You can. I'm just saying. Jade eggs have their place, but only do it with a licensed therapist or doctor. Do not do it because Gwyneth Paltrow told you to. Please. Please.
So when the episode started and the Watcher kind of gave his narration, I was kind of hoping that this episode was going to go way more into the butterfly effect of what happens when there is no Iron Man, which means that there's not really an Avengers in the same way. There is,
Why?
because he's not part of it.
So?
That changes a lot of things.
Eh.
He's the one that flew the nuke into the wormhole during the Battle of New York. He was the one that was able to figure out time travel. He was the one that was able to do the snap.
Yeah, but just none of it's going to happen. Thanos is just going to win earlier, maybe. Or Fury calls Captain Marvel sooner. If there weren't Avengers, Fury just would have called Captain Marvel for the Battle of New York.
But that's what I'm saying. I think that stuff would have played out very differently. That, let's say the things play out generally the same up to Infinity War, and then Thanos snaps. Well, now we have no one to figure out time travel.
Okay.
I don't know. I just think
I really think I don't think figuring out time travel is necessary to anyone but the people in Endgame. Like, I think there are, like, Steve Rogers still comes out of the ice whether Tony becomes Iron Man or not, you know. And as much as, like, I don't cheer on Steve, but still, like, Thor's hammer still gets thrown to Earth whether Iron Man becomes Iron Man or not.
Yeah, but I'm saying everything he's involved in now plays out differently. Ultron doesn't happen.
I think that's a good thing.
Same. Now, I will say...
I would argue that that's a positive.
No, it is. I will say, though. So, yesterday, or what was it? Yeah, I think it was yesterday where they released the mid-season trailer.
Monday. Yeah.
Monday. They basically confirmed to us that all these episodes are crossing over at some point, or a good chunk of them are. They did without saying it.
I don't know if it's all of them, and I have a theory as to why.
A good chunk of them will, I believe.
I think there are two plot lines that are going to converge with the zombie one and this other one. Because Party Thor in that mid-season trailer is like, ooh, zombies, that's different. So he's clearly doing that shit and, like, living that.
I like to imagine, I kind of hope he's just talking to the Watcher, and that's kind of the way he's talking to what is essentially
he's talking to Doctor Strange or somebody. It shows who he's talking to.
Okay.
It's like a character.
I didn't watch it because I didn't watch it all the way through or while paying attention because I do kind of like the surprise, but
no, because they showed that we're getting a second part to this in that mid-season trailer because we see Pepper with a big gun.
Yeah.
A big gun and Shuri, like, going into battle.
But yeah, because they kind of confirmed that at least some of the episodes are crossing over. I thought this, when they were building the giant robot that Killmonger was designing.
The Liberator?
The Liberator.
Sounds like a sex toy.
It does. I was going to say the same thing, but I didn't want to be gross. Thank you for that.
I got you.
Liberator? I barely know her. I honestly thought that was going to turn into Ultron. And that was going to lead into the Ultron with the Infinity Stones. I
didn't. Just because Jarvis is just their hive mind, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he's not in them.
No, but that's the thing is, I thought that right as they started building him. So we hadn't gotten to that point where Jarvis was the hive mind yet.
Really quick, because this doesn't fit in anywhere else, but we're having this conversation. When he was like, I'm really into anime, I was like, is this a reference to the fact that Michael B. Jordan has his own anime show? Is that what this is a reference to?
No, I think Michael B. Jordan in real life has came out and been like, I am a...
Oh, he has.
Yeah.
That's why he was so, like, ready to be part of Genlock.
Yeah.
Genlock has a great cast. It's the only one I watched.
I don't know if it's a reference to the show, if it's a reference to him, or if they just thought that at the end of the day, while Killmonger's like this evil killing machine, if someone tells anyone nowadays to design a giant robot, they're probably just inherently going to go very Japanese art style with it because that's what they're most famous in.
And I could understand Killmonger seeing himself in some anime characters that he shouldn't see himself in.
Yeah.
Gosh. I'm just saying. He's a bad dude.
Okay. Like, when I was watching this episode, I was like, this MFer, he's like Emperor Palpatine, man, with like all the schemes he was cooking up. I was like, oh my gosh, he's like threading the needle with all these.
The very beginning where he comes out and goes, I found out Obadiah Stane's plans, and that's why I saved you, and like now I'm just want to be your head of security. Like that was a really smart way to get into it.
And I guess that confirms like he was like in the main timeline too, right? He probably was with the 10 rings as well.
Okay, this is where I got fuzzy, and I was gonna ask you guys: was he a Navy SEAL in his origin story in Black Panther, and I just forgot because I haven't watched Black Panther in a while?
I don't know if it was Navy SEAL. He was like some elite military.
Why did I think he was a mercenary?
Let me see.
Does he become a mercenary? I got really confused.
Let me look
about
this
that
up
part.
real quick.
Yeah, I got really confused about that part because I couldn't remember if he was a SEAL in.
Yeah, he was a former United States Navy SEAL.
Right, well,
Hold on. I'm just making sure that at one point they don't say if he becomes a mercenary.
okay, I must have gotten confused.
Yeah.
Well,
If at any point they talked about him being an assassin, because that's what the Navy SEAL
he just
team
had
did, I may have just decided he was a mercenary.
he just had the highest kill count of like any of them.
My brain just probably warped that into he was a mercenary.
I mean, he's getting paid to kill.
Well, okay, so after he was a Navy
Yeah,
SEAL, he was recruited into a Joint Special Operations Ghost unit that is part of the CIA.
Yeah, that's where I got mercenary. And Brett, yeah, that's touching on a deep debate.
Wait, what did Brett say?
Brett goes, he's getting paid to kill people, so that's getting into a deep debate about the army.
They're all
and the
mercenaries.
armed forces.
But yeah, so it's that he started as a Navy SEAL and then went into like secret black ops missions. So basically,
Which is the same thing that Rhodey said, basically, was that he was in wet jobs, which I really hope that's not the real word for it.
Wet work.
Wet work. I really hope that's not the real word for it, because that's fucking gross.
Based off of my Call of Duty experience, I believe it is.
Oh no!
Nope.
Hate
Wet
it.
work is because it's translated from the literal phrase in Russian, which is why it makes no sense in English. But yeah, it's a euphemism for murder or assassination that alludes to spilling blood.
Sounds
I
cool.
assume the spilling blood part. Gross.
Also, rest in peace, Terrence Howard, Rhodey. Again, just more,
It looked like Don Cheadle though, right?
No. That's what I'm saying. They made it Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
And I love that. It's very funny that they're like, no, it was Don Cheadle. It's fine.
Did you see the what if? And it was like, what if Terrence Howard secured the bag?
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
What if Terrence Howard didn't have a horrendous ego?
Yeah. He's definitely kicking himself now.
He did create his own math thing or something.
Math?
Yeah, Howardometry or something. It's like something made.
I just know that he made the show Empire.
Yeah.
And that led to the whole Jesse Smollett thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm just gonna walk us away from that one.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I don't get why I could see why you think Killmonger's plan is batshit crazy. I'm not gonna say it's dumb because it worked and was incredibly calculated.
I didn't say it was dumb. I said it was crazy. There's a difference between dumb and crazy. I think he's dumb for doing it, but it is a crazy plan that there is no way you don't end up dead or in prison. There is no way you win this because it depends on everybody being dumb as fuck. It truly depends on you made sure you killed everybody in that room and that everybody else is dumb as fuck. And like, to underestimate Tony like that, are you dumb? Like, what is wrong with you?
I mean, he took care of that robot, and he did get found out. So.
And yeah, that's the other thing. I think by the time he killed Rhodey and T'Challa, he basically accepted that Tony's gonna find out, which is why he then focused on the I want to become leader of Wakanda half of the plan, and why he went back to visit Tony.
I think that was always part of the plan. Tony was just a pawn.
No, but what I'm saying
is... to kill Tony from the get-go.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I think he accounted for that exact moment that Tony would realize, rather than him just killing Tony off randomly.
But Shuri figured it out. Like, at the end of the day, he does not have this all planned out. He forgot something because he's a fucking moron. And plans like this never work because they completely depend on you making sure you take out everyone who might be smart enough to figure you out. And hope that whoever he doesn't kill isn't, like, a paranoid freak that has, like, hidden cameras everywhere in a look at this if I'm dead file on their computer, you know?
Well, yeah, the only person that was really onto him was Pepper.
And Shuri, a 9-year-old! A literal child!
Kids are like dogs. Sometimes they just know.
Like, a literal... This is my entire thing, is that a literal 9-year-old is outsmarting all of you, because she also got into Pepper's office while Stark Enterprises is basically operating as a military base. And this 9-year-old, without her parents from another country, got into your office.
She has Wakandan technology.
Yeah.
I do
He's
think
9!
I do think T'Chaka, however, is being extra nice to avoid his reputation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean...
Suck it up. Stand by your kill. I'm a heartless person.
And I think that...
to show how good of a manipulator Eric is. Like, the fact that... Like, I know you said his plan is dumb and it is kind of unraveling at the end there, but, I mean, he got that far, right? Like, that's still kind of commendable in how he's able to...
Plus, Okoye and T'Challa's mom seemed suspicious at first until they saw him just taking down all the drones.
Which is a dumb reason to suddenly be okay with somebody. Don't trust people. That's the message that I feel everyone should take away. Don't trust random people that show up in your country. Like,
guess who in this group reads a lot of Batman comics?
Yeah. No, I truly...
He's family, though. He's family, though.
But you haven't been with him. That doesn't mean anything.
It's also like...
Fun story. This a similar topic will come up in a Waypoint podcast coming soon. But he's not he wasn't raised with you. You have no emotional connection to him except the one you forged in your own mind because you feel guilty about murdering his father. The rest of you didn't even know he fucking existed.
No, and that's the other thing, and I keep forgetting her name, so I just keep calling her T'Challa's mom.
Ramonda.
Ramonda.
Yeah.
She
put some respect on Angela Bassett's name.
I could just refer to her as Angela Bassett the whole time.
That's fine too.
Yeah,
they're both amazing.
She was a beast on the battlefield, though.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Her suspicion started with, he never sired a child. Oh no, he did. I lied to you. Okay, like.
Yeah, why are you so okay with that?
Why are you okay? Why are you not asking why he's lived in America? Why are you not asking about the mom?
Yeah, why are we not addressing anything?
Yeah,
they're at war.
And does she know that he killed N'Joku?
No. I'm assuming in this universe, no.
She does in the main timeline.
I think it was just Forrest Whitaker's character who knew.
Yeah, I don't think she knew in Black Panther either until later.
Okay, because there were moments where she seemed suspicious about something.
Yeah.
But, like, not suspicious towards Killmonger, like, suspicious towards T'Chaka.
Because this entire situation is weird. Truly, I would like both of you to go into your minds. You're married to whoever. All of a sudden, this person claiming that they are your nephew shows up. You knew his father and was like, you didn't have a kid last time. Your husband goes, oh no, he absolutely had kids. They got raised in America the whole time. Don't ask any questions. You're immediately going to be like,
what did you do to your brother?
Let's have a chat really quick.
Yeah.
Who was it? Like, who, where, how? And, like, he just rolled up with a body. How does he have the thing on the inside of his lip? Like, a lot of, like, just, like, questions about, like, how did this happen?
Well, that's the other thing.
The same one she has in Black Panther, to be fair, when he rolls up.
Yeah, but the lip tattoo, I think, is basically like, well, we know he's not lying about the fact that he's Wakandan.
It's still weird, and you should still ask questions. Yeah. Ask questions is all I'm saying.
And him just murking Claw and rolling up with his body, something he does in the movie, too.
When you're at war, that is even more of a reason to ask questions. I had a lot of issues that I felt like it was a lot of characters accepting things because someone was saying they were true. Like how Killmonger, this person they have never met before. All they know is that he was in the army, he was a Navy SEAL, and he just happened to be there. Is saying, Obadiah Stane did all this stuff, and I have receipts, I dropped them on the internet. You don't know those are real immediately. Like, is no one going to be like, hey, let's figure this out first?
But then Obadiah didn't really deny it, so...
That's just off-screen stuff. You just assume that off-screen...
That's my thing, is they never say that, and Pepper's like, I don't trust him, and then you go into, well...
And Rhodey's just like, his record's too clean.
Yeah, and, like, just... That... The guy who shot Kennedy was in the military. Like, not everybody in the military is a good person. Like, let's just be, like, safe here and question some things. Like, you just have this random guy all of a sudden has all the answers, and nobody's, like, a little curious. Like, a little curious how all of a sudden he knows exactly where to go to get all this vibranium. And he's the one who says they should send Rhodey, and then all of a sudden Rhodey and T'Challa are dead. And the vibranium is with him now. Like, no one had. But that's what I'm saying. Questions.
That moment is when basically everyone started to see through him. He accounted for that.
But nobody saw through him. They just let him keep going.
On the Wakandan side.
No, on the American side too, until he dipped. They were all like, cool. And then he left, and he defected, basically, but... Which is like, whatever, defect all you want. The U.S. Army is immediately going to be like, don't actually defect, you'll get in big trouble. But if you defect, like, the American government's like, all right, you're a bad person.
Defecting's not the worst thing he did in this episode.
No. I also shouldn't necessarily say defecting. I don't know if it's defecting or AWOL, but either way. It's
I think because he's now on the opposing side, he's defecting.
Desertion. Thank you. Brett got it. Desertion. That's the word I was looking for.
Well, I guess he is defecting. That's like, that means you're switching sides, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because AWOL's just like, oh, I don't have anything to do with this shit. He just went, I'm with them now.
Yeah, but defecting in theory, you have to go through governments and be like, I'm no longer a U.S. citizen. I'm now a Wakandan citizen and a whole thing. I was looking for desertion because that's when you just dip out on your army to go do whatever.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yeah. Don't do any of them. They're crimes, and the American government will throw the book at you. Be safe.
And it's a heavy book, I've heard.
But yeah, and that's just like why it bugged me, is that like everybody was just like, yeah. And then you got fucking Tony. Dude, you have a video of this man murking an entire room of black market like security dudes.
Didn't upload that anywhere.
And that, but I think he did, and that's what Shuri had at the end, but who fucking knows. But regardless, and he killed this other guy and Rhodey. Who, to be fair, it's not like Rhodey was in the War Machine suit. He just had like a handgun, but still.
This other guy, you mean T'Challa?
Yes, but my point being that Tony doesn't know
exactly
who that is.
Oh, yeah.
They don't find out until after that he killed the Wakandan prince. And then you add in that it so obviously looks staged. Like, they're not even facing each other, but Rhodey's been stabbed in the stomach with the
gloves.
The glove, and then Rhodey's holding... Like, how would that have even worked?
Wait,
especially because apparently those gloves kill him, like, immediately.
They're real sharp.
It's vibranium, right?
Yeah, but it's your stomach. Like, if you just had 4 little puncture holes to your stomach, you wouldn't die instantly.
I figure they're deeper than puncture holes.
I mean, if you imagine getting stabbed with like a kitchen knife,
but it's
imagine 4 of them. That's way more.
But I also think that part of it was just more like, are they gonna show us the 6 hours it takes him to bleed out? No, it's a show.
I'm just saying he could have done stuff in that time.
Yeah, for all we know, he's just laying there, like dying.
It's my same issue with Tony getting stabbed in the shoulder. Yes, the weight is not good, but getting stabbed right here won't kill you quickly, especially because the spear's still in there.
But that's not where. That's not when
he stabbed right here.
Yeah, but that's not where he dies.
Up. Yeah, it is.
No, he takes it out.
Tony dies.
He takes it out and then puts it in his stomach.
Further. No, he grabs the spear and pushes in. It shows Tony hanging from his shoulder. I took a screenshot of it. Hang on.
Starting a war, though. Starting a war between the two countries was...
No, you don't get to change the subject because I'm right.
I'm trying to keep it going while you look for the picture. I'm trying to vamp, all right?
Yeah.
You host.
So one cool thing in this episode I brought up to Jordan beforehand was that T'Challa was like active as Black Panther like in 2008 when he was,
Yeah, Civil War heavily implies that he has been Black Panther for a while. He just hasn't been king because his dad's so much older.
Yeah. But I didn't know, 8 years or something?
Yeah, I mean, that would be 8 years, 2018, 2016, 2008 to 2016.
Yeah.
Again, assuming that there is not a time jump in this episode at all.
Right.
I would assume there isn't a time jump.
Yeah, there's no reason to assume that there is.
Yeah. And that'd be a lot of explaining. Could you stop trying to bite me, you absolute shithead? Thank you. Sorry.
All I gotta say is it was so sad, that, and the Watcher says, heroes are forged through sacrifice and all that. So seeing Tony still be I mean, he was always arrogant, but still
be a dipshit.
Being completely,
it was basically Tony without any character development from the first movie.
Yes.
Yeah, and so it was just such a little bit of a bummer to not see him that way for a little bit longer, and then dying that way.
I personally was able to adjust to the voice acting very quickly.
When it wasn't the movie lines.
What bothered me more was the one-liners that was kind of like somebody being trying to force themselves to write what Tony Stark would say in areas where he wouldn't. They tried to make every single line a one-liner, which isn't necessarily how Tony always talks.
I think first movie Tony is just trying his best to whip out one-liners. I also thought Tony's voice actor was terrible. But...
Oh, I'm not saying he wasn't. I'm saying I adjusted pretty quickly.
I didn't. His voice is very high.
Yeah.
I was I don't think RDJ's voice is this high. And then I got confused because they did the, I am Iron Man thing from
Endgame,
and that sounded like RDJ, and then it went back, and I got very
Did it? I felt like it didn't.
I thought that line was the one that sounded the most like.
Yeah, especially because that one he's not speaking consistently; it's pauses.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool to see.
It was cool to see, and I'm happy that in the moments where they used movie lines, they didn't just take the actual audio, because then you would actually be able to hear the difference right then and there. Yes, Leanne.
Relating to Tony, I think it's very funny that 6 months after there was a whole campaign to bring Iron Man back, and people on Reddit being this is how you could bring Iron Man back, and bring Tony Stark back to life, that billboard out here in LA. They released a series where we watched Tony die 8 times.
That's what I said.
We watched Tony Stark be murdered a fuck ton.
We saw him get killed by Hank. Just collapse on the floor.
Zombie.
We saw him as a zombie. We didn't see how he turned. Oh, no, they did show it, yeah.
Yeah.
They showed Hank Pym turning him to a zombie. And then...
What? Yeah. And then we saw his endgame death again. And then
we saw this.
He got stabbed by Killmonger.
Yeah.
And I love it so much. It's just it's ironic, and I think it's funny.
That montage where Rachel Adams' character just keeps dying, but with different what-ifs of Tony.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, in this timeline, in this what-if, Killmonger enacts his plan much earlier than in the Sacred Timeline. So... I don't know. My question is what took him an extra 8 years to get his plan into motion? Between in this version, he saves Tony and kind of gets his way into Stark and Wakanda through that, and then in Black Panther, he just waits 8 extra years to.
I think it's he doesn't have Tony to bankroll him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got to do it all himself to start out with, and doesn't have the
And apparently he was
Like,
still
if-
getting his doctorate in 2008.
Yeah. Like, if
That's right, yeah.
little baby Killmonger walked up to Claw with no real clout of anything behind him, Claw wasn't going to show him anything. So I felt that it was kind of like he couldn't just walk into the U.S. Army and be like, "Hey."
Now I'm imagining like a baby in just a diaper, but with all those dots.
Oh God,
Oh.
what's wrong with you?
What? He doesn't have to get them for killing people. Maybe he got one every time he shit his pants. He's a baby.
I do gotta say too.
Jordan, sorry, I wasn't saying "oh my God" because it was a baby killing somebody. That would be cutting a child, an actual baby, how many times? That is the fucked up part. A grown man doing it to himself is one thing. A child is like...
It could be Endgame, right? Like when Scott turns into a baby, like it could just be something like he just time travels himself.
Yeah.
You know. But okay, so that pop figure that I sent the picture of, it said King Killmonger. Like but I just thought the Killmonger suit looks so cool. And I thought it looked great in this animation.
Yeah,
style.
where it had the gold instead of the silver.
Oh yeah.
Because he loves being gaudy.
That just looks so clean. And I think it looked way better than the movie, honestly. Like it looked pretty clean.
Still getting used to this animation style. One day I will be able to appreciate things, but
there were
I'm still
certain
getting
things
used to the animation style.
like when they enter Tony's garage and the lights turn on and we don't see any of them, we just see the cars. That looked really good.
Yeah, and the party scene too, with all the like the outside shot of Tony's house, like it's a classic like drawing, like edges are blurred and it's not like a defined kind of.
Yeah, no, I liked it.
Yeah, I thought that looked great too. And I just like being back in the 2008 part of like the MCU, like seeing Tony's house and seeing Dummy again, and all that. Like I was like, oh yeah, it's like, you know, and that's one thing I like about What If is like going just to different times. That's why I like the Endgame so much too. Was like just revisiting, you know, things we love.
I like too that they're starting to reference fucking the whole origins of the Dora Milaje, where we're having Ramona is a general in the Dora Milaje, because in the comics their thing is that they protect the king and then one of them marries him, and I like that we kind of like reference that.
Or
with that.
You said that's in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
See, I wonder if it was just something like in the MCU, I just thought it was like she married T'Chaka, and then they were like, all right, now we're going to train you just because you're a political figure and like people might try to like assassinate you and stuff. So, but that
yeah, no, it's that she was a Dora Milaje before getting married to him.
Yes, their original origin in the comics is that like each of the little tribes that make up Wakanda pick like a certain amount of women that get sent, and they're all possible brides for the king. They get trained to protect him. And then he picks one of them to marry, because in the comics, Nakia was a bad guy and was in love with T'Challa, and he did not like her, and she did not handle it well.
I like the balance of like, oh, this is incredibly good. Like it's women literally being strong, like they have their own army, but it's also incredibly backwards because it's essentially a king's, pick your favorite. Here's the world's biggest selection of girls for you.
Yeah, but with royalty, you're never gonna get away from it.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's just how royalty works. Yeah. I'm not even gonna say worked. Like it probably is.
Works.
It still works.
I will say it. Harry and Meghan are the first couple where one of them was a royal that they chose who they married. By like, clearly they're not part of the family anymore either. So we all saw how well that went. But no, Diana was chosen for Prince Charles. Kate was chosen for the other one, whose name I never remember.
William.
Cheats on her all the time. Thank you. Yeah. Elizabeth's married to her fucking cousin, for Christ's sake.
Most of them were. You wanted to keep the bloodline pure. That was literally the logic.
He had to recount his citizenship too, because he was a German citizen.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
And after World War One, I think it was after World War One, after something, they couldn't allow her to marry a German, so he had to recant his German citizenship to marry her.
It's not German.
It's a love story for the ages.
No. I mean, they did love each other. I shouldn't say that. They cared about each other deeply. And
that's usually how it goes. It's like,
sad.
Here's the list of people who are acceptable. Now, out of that list, find the one you like the most.
Yes.
To kind of break it back.
Thanks, Brett.
I wonder if Ramonda, because was she a Dora Milaje in the comics, or I just wonder if this is going to play a role, her actually being a badass warrior, play a role in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, or the show.
I don't know if she is. I don't read a ton of Black Panther comics anymore. Not for any particular reason. I just was reading too many comics and I had to pick some to cut. But so I don't know if she's in the comics. I just know Okoye and Nakia were.
Mm-hmm. I think
I'm so excited for Wakanda Forever.
In the MCU, because they don't seem to be doing.
Yeah. Allegedly.
In the MCU, because they don't seem to be doing the Dora Milaje are all potential brides for the king. I think it's hard to say. In the comics, though, I would assume that if that's still the tradition, then it's basically said without being said that she would have been a Dora Milaje while T'Chaka was still a prince.
Yes. I want Party Thor. I want his chaos added into this whole fucking mess.
Do you think frat boy Thor was thrown around and then just failed some focus groups, so they went with Party Thor? Because I hope that's the vibe we get.
I think frat boy is only a colloquial meaning in America.
That's fair. The point I'm trying to make is I want to see Thor do a keg stand.
I don't think
dude,
give it to me, Kevin.
It would have to be
Kevin. Give it to me.
Would it be Asgardian ale or something, or would it be
fuck it? No, make it human, so that way he can literally just do it all in one gulp.
Yeah.
Have him start out doing a keg stand, then have him, put his legs back and lift the keg above him and just one big sip.
I like in this logic, he has to go to Earth, get a metal keg that has a tap to make a keg stand possible, to then do the keg stand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have a question about this episode, and because it really it really intrigued me, not just because of the logical trajectory of where we're going, but as we've been going through this episode, so the Watcher has made himself more and more physically visible, or not physically, just in terms of people can't see him, but in terms of us seeing him.
He's not an outline in the sky anymore. He's
he's there for us, but not for them.
Right. And obviously it's just because we're going episodes 1, 2, in order, but this episode, he looked visibly upset when Killmonger was standing on Mount Bashanga, and I wonder why in the story why this made him more upset than any other tragedy that occurred in different timelines. You know what I mean?
Maybe he's a huge Black Panther fan.
Huge T'Challa fan.
Yeah.
Huge Tony fan.
I mean, I get what you're saying, because of all the things that should bother a Watcher, I would assume that the Doctor Strange episode would have been the one to bother him the most, which you could argue it did, because he actually made himself visible in that moment.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, also Strange gave him no choice.
Strange gave him no choice.
If a dude is screaming at you, you can't just still be like, I'm not here. You can see me, but no, you can't.
Yeah, and there was no dimension left, but yeah, I actually didn't notice him in the background. I'm gonna go back and look for it.
He looks so sad.
Yeah.
Oh no.
He looks really upset. Also, stupid comment about the Watcher. Do either of you remember the Proud Family movie?
No, I don't remember the movie. I remember the show as a whole.
That's with the Peanuts, right?
Yes, those characters, the Watcher kind of looks like it, and now I'm afraid of the Watcher because as a child, I was terrified.
Let me see if I can see.
Just search Proud Family movie villain. Or island inhabitants. They're not even really the villains for the whole
That show's coming back. Reboot.
Yeah.
It was so sad.
No, because his head doesn't go back; it goes up.
It's just the color. It's literally just the color. In this episode, they were very similarly shaded, and it upset me. Stop hitting the keyboard with your tail. You ended the call at the meeting yesterday like that for me, and it was a problem. Okay, so relax.
What was the what's like the ancestral plane or something?
Mm-hmm.
Right. It was sad seeing T'Challa there, like because in the movie we see N'Jobu, right?
We see N'Jobu and T'Chaka.
When Killmonger takes it, you're saying?
Killmonger.
Yes.
Do we see
for Killmonger? We see just N'Jobu. For
right.
T'Challa, we see just T'Chaka.
And we also see his grandfathers, don't we? Because he's yelling at all of them.
Yes, but we don't see them as clearly.
We don't see them as clearly at all.
For Killmonger, we just see N'Jobu.
We just see N'Jobu.
For T'Challa, we see the line of kings before him.
Yes.
But for this episode, it was T'Challa, which was so fascinating because I wonder, obviously, that personal connection of him murdering T'Challa, but like,
I liked him basically being like, "I will see you in hell." When he's like, "You'll either face your punishment on that plane or here," I was like, "Oh, that is, I will see you in hell."
You tell them who sent you.
Which connecting to episode 2, and obviously in the movie Black Panther, T'Challa goes through like a huge shift in like his character and who he is. But seeing him in this like at this point of his life, seeing him as Star-Lord, like what's so cool about the show is seeing like what the constants are with characters, no matter what situations they're in, and just seeing T'Challa just be a great guy, a great person, no matter what circumstance he's in. Like, it was, just makes you like that character even more.
Yes. He's just always a sweet little being.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is where I also have questions, though, is because all of us before the show came out, all assumed, the internet assumed, that King Killmonger and T'Challa as Star-Lord were going to take place in the same universe. That
Killmonger's able to take the throne. Yeah.
All of that. They're not. So I was like, cool. But then I'm thinking back to the mid-credit scene, and T'Challa as Star-Lord is going to be part of the mid-credits trailer. The mid-season trailer.
There we go.
That the team up is like Star-Lord, T'Challa, and Thanos, and like all. So like, I'm confused about how all the universes are going to come together.
So I think it's a zombie thing, right? Isn't it a zombie thing? Where they
I don't know.
So the Watchers... Go ahead.
Okay, so in the mid-season trailer, if I could get to it, we get a shot of Pepper and Shuri fighting against Killmonger. But we also get Party Thor referencing zombies. And we're still waiting on Ultron Vision and Gamora, daughter of Thanos. So, like, I just have a lot of questions on, like, where we're going with this. I'm trying to find the fucking mid-season sneak peek. Here we go.
I have one of two assumptions, which is the Watcher said that he wouldn't sacrifice the life... What did he say? I won't sacrifice the life of one for one dimension.
He can't save one universe for another.
But I think if something starts happening to multiple universes, even if he doesn't, he's not going to talk to them, he can, like, give them something to go. Or
he's not supposed to.
And will are very different things.
The thing is, he can't. Like, he can, but I don't think they're going to go that far into Utu's story because it's...
You don't think they're going to have him break the rules?
No, because when he does it in the comics, it's like a multiverse crisis.
Well, that's what
causes, like, a trial, not in, like, the way of, like, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, okay.
It causes, like, a trial, and Doctor Strange is, like, a character witness at one point. Like, it's a whole...
Oh, like does he has to face the living tribunal?
No, he has to face the rest of the Watchers.
Oh.
Their own thing. They can't. They're each assigned to one little area of universe. Like, they got their universes that they can watch, and that's what they watch, and they don't do it. You don't do anything. Because it's not their place.
Yeah.
It's like the same way that in theory, if you are Christian or Catholic, God in theory could end the world or like end world hunger, but he doesn't.
Rude.
That's the Watchers. Like, they can, but they don't.
So I guess the other thing I would assume is if the multiverse starts collapsing because of Loki, but that's the thing is I do feel like you kind of have to have somebody lead all the characters from that universe together. It might maybe be the I'm using quotes here, evil Doctor Strange, since he's already kind of interacted with the Watcher and knows there's more out there and he's stuck in this pocket dimension. He could be the ringleader behind the whole thing.
And we're going to see actual Doctor Strange and not actual bad, scary Doctor Strange and not bad, scary Doctor Strange, because they talk about it in the trailer. And there's a whole scene of them talking to each other.
Like at a bar, just like over a couple beers?
No, I don't know. Hang on, I can tell you in a second where they are.
I want to bring up the cool, I don't even know what you would call it, like the sonic cannon tech that was like kind of similar to Obadiah Stane's, like, I don't even know what it was. It was like a weird like little handheld thing.
He had like
sonic wave gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like you could see like the veins on all their faces pop up like in Iron Man 1, but it was combined with like a sonic cannon thing.
Yeah, and it was enough to stop the vibranium, because that's like the vibranium's
which
big
it took
weakness.
Which it took down Black Panther's suit, which was kind of like,
well, no, but we see that happen in the movie with the train.
Yeah, but I don't think it was taking down the vibranium because it was doing something to their veins. And T'Challa took the helmet off. The helmet didn't disappear. He took it off.
Yeah.
It does something weird because it does the same thing to Rhodey, and Rhodey doesn't have any vibranium on him. Mm-hmm. And it like fucks him up. It's just those like, weapons exist. It's sonic energy. It can cause your eardrums and your.
That's what I'm saying. I think sonic energy both will hurt you as a person, but on top of that, will make vibranium stop working. Like, those two things aren't mutually exclusive. It does. Yeah, both.
But it didn't do anything. It didn't do that weird thing to the suit that happens in Black Panther.
That suit was like
they ripple.
Suit. Yeah. The suits in Black Panther were nanotech.
Yeah. It's just because he just rips that helmet off.
Yeah.
Sonic radar is scary. Okay, I found it. Okay. They're just like in one of the like weird portal areas that Doctor Strange can go into, and normal Strange is like, "What happened to you?" And he goes, "You'll see, it'll happen to you soon." And it's like, well, that's not true. But
jeez.
Yeah, and then it says that the team up that we're getting is if it would fucking show me again.
Captain Carter, T'Challa, Star-Lord.
It's coming. T'Challa, Star-Lord, Thanos, Hawkeye, Spider-Man, Iron Man, the zombie one, Nick Fury, Ant-Man, Captain Carter.
So if the zombies aren't
Steve
involved,
Rogers
as a zombie,
Loki, no, Hulk, little one, Captain Marvel, Gamora, Killmonger, the Winter Soldier, Vision, Black Widow, Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme. Because remember that post-apocalyptic Black Widow I showed you guys last week?
It's from probably that episode.
It's Ultron. No, it's from Ultron. It's from they show it in this trailer. Vision Ultron creates a bunch of little Ultrons, and it looks like we're in like nuclear warfare in that episode.
Yeah, but I'm assuming that's the team up episode is when Ultron gets all the Infinity Stones. I'm assuming that's the team up.
I don't know. I'm assuming next week is Party Thor. I'm willing to go out on a limb that episode 7 is Party Thor. Just because 8 and 9 have to be wrap-ups. Especially if they're only half-hour episodes.
Yeah. Do you think the final episode will be longer than the half hours we've been getting?
No.
This one I will say, I've been saying that they've been having pacing issues. This one I think was paced well, personally. Like, it felt longer than a half hour, and I didn't feel like it was all shoved in.
I realized watching this one why I don't like this show. We always get to the end, and I'm like, A, why should I care? B, that's not a complete story. And I know it's because later on we're getting the resolution, like the actual climax and resolution of that episode, but like, I don't like the way this series is formatted.
Like, even if it all comes together really well, you still think each episode should be able to stand on its own.
Yeah. You gotta have like a climax and a resolution in your own episode, even if it leads into something else. You do that with movies too. Like,
no, yeah. I mean, I would say some of them, like the one with the Avengers died, the zombie one, those felt like they ended that episode.
No, we literally yelled all last week about how the zombie episode didn't feel like it had an ending.
Well, we wanted to see the second half because we've seen Infinity War, but like...
Yeah, that doesn't mean it can stand on its own. That means it can't stand on its own because we want to see where it goes. Like, we literally were saying last week that it doesn't feel like it has an ending. And like all of the episodes, like we've been saying it on this show, it's like, cool, but what does that mean? Like... And if they hadn't told us that all the episodes would converge at some point, if they were still like, no, it's an anthology series, they don't affect anything, it's just a snapshot, I'd hate this series. The only reason I still watch it is because I know at some point it will come together.
And I think that's why they're basically...
Like this is a huge flop on Marvel's part.
I think that is also why they're basically admitting it now, because as a whole, I think the reactions have been like, it's good, it's cool, it's fun, but like... whatever, like it's been very meh.
Yeah.
And so I do think that's why they're deciding to go, fuck it, let's just tell them that it all converges. Because we know people will stick around for that. We do like those team-up episodes.
And it's like, you have to, because if not, like look at Chris, hasn't watched the first episode and was like, I can't really be bothered to watch the rest.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if there was no team-up, I feel like there'd be a lot more people that are like, I can't really be bothered to continue.
I also do think that because this isn't like Loki or WandaVision or even Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because it's like not a continuation of like the mainline MCU, you are going to have a good amount of people that are like, I'm just going to wait for the whole season to drop and then I'll binge it.
That's the other problem. I feel like this should have been a full season, just all at once.
Just drop it all.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I don't feel like WandaVision, I was working and was willing to like stay up till midnight to watch WandaVision before bed. Same thing with Falcon and Winter Soldier, same thing with Loki. Like Loki, I was like, and WandaVision, I was like ready to kill someone just trying to get to the next episode. With this, I forgot. I literally forgot today that a new episode came out until Alec messaged in the Discord and was like, I really like this episode. And I was like, I'm on a podcast tonight.
Yeah, this almost might have been a 2-person podcast. Thanks, Alec.
I literally forgot that I was on the phone with my mother and I went, oh, fuck, I'm on a podcast tonight. I need to get off because I need to watch the episode and then, like, get in the shower and all that kind of stuff.
I agree that, like this show, like, I've stayed up a couple times to watch them, but some of them I catch them in the morning or even, like, in the afternoon, just depending. But I do like the week to week. I do like watching a 30-minute thing and not like, you know, binging, like not watching something for like 3 hours. Like I do like watching like a little chunk and then dissecting that specific chunk for a week. I do like that aspect of it.
I basically think that when season 2 comes along, they have to do one of two things, or hopefully both. If it's gonna all converge at the end, give us stories that stand on their own. And then, fuck it, you're Marvel, put in a mid-credits thing about how it might all converge. Like, give us something. Or, dig your heels into the anthology part. Give us more, like, give us longer episodes and more interesting what-ifs.
And also, too, this episode, or this season was primarily made during the pandemic, which is, I feel like, the workflow for the next season will probably be a little easier.
Yeah, that definitely could have affected a lot.
I mean, literally, an episode got cut because to get it out.
Now, do we know if the episode that got cut is going to be the first episode of season 2?
That's the rumor, but we don't have anything confirmed.
So, so we might never actually know which one was supposed to be in season 1.
Yeah, we don't even we don't know any of the details of it. We just know an episode got cut.
And I guess that also means that not every episode's going to converge.
Yeah, I mean, that's all the confusion around it. And,
or they change the convergence episode.
They're not going to change. They would have had to change their whole season arc. If they dropped an episode, it meant it didn't matter.
Wait, more Thor Dark World, though?
Brett, that's what I was waiting for. That's what I was about to say when I started giggling. I was like, wow, we're just having Thor the Dark World saying the word convergence all episode.
Yes.
Eric Selvig running around in his underwear.
What if Eric Selvig had on pants and didn't end up in the mental institution?
Wow. They would have solved that problem a lot faster.
Thor the Dark World would have been a half hour.
But yeah, if it got cut, it means it didn't matter. I'm willing to bet that the last episode was a setup for something.
Well, some of these episodes, like you said, some of them are have huge cliffhangers / the stories are complete, whereas some of them feel more wrapped up, right? So I mean, maybe
Star-Lord T'Challa is the one that I'll be like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say they had to follow up on that multiverse, whatever, just because of Ego and Peter Quill.
Oh, see, this is where I'm a bad person, where I was just like, okay, so he killed Peter Quill and
he either killed or kidnapped Peter.
You go with the zombies, and it's like Thanos has all 5 stones, and he needs one more. The stones literally go into.
I mean, hold up.
I have so many questions about that part.
Honestly, Ego and Peter could be the event that's big enough to bring people together.
That's just gonna bring down that one.
Dang, it's. I think it's more gonna be about zombies. We have to remember Wanda Maximoff is a zombie. That is the worst case scenario of anything. That is DEFCON 5 worst case scenario.
That's DEFCON 6. We're making a new one.
We have something that does not have sentient reasoning, but could cause events that could end the world 4 times over. That's bad.
We have 2 different DEFCON 5s combined into one. It's a DEFCON 10, actually.
Yeah.
We skipped 6 through 9.
I think if we see good Thanos fight zombie Thanos, though, that both are going to die.
I like that. It's very symbolic.
Well,
killed by his own hubris. But that's been half of this show, honestly, is just characters being killed by their own hubris.
Yeah.
We need another upbeat episode. We've really only gotten 1, or no, not even 1, because the end of the Star-Lord episode is well, Ego is gonna do his thing.
I would say that one was the most.
All these are sad. I
guess Captain Carter is. I wouldn't say upbeat, but it's not as much of a downer.
It's something we've already accepted. We already know it's sad. You're 70 years in the future. Everyone you know and love is dead. It's whatever.
Yeah.
We all already kind of are on that. Guys, what if we really do get some Dark World fucking love here, and the convergence is what causes all the universes to come together? It's Thor and Selvig, because Captain Carter comes through one of Selvig's portals.
Give me animated Darcy. What?
Somebody's just villain cackled outside of my apartment.
Right on cue, right as I said that.
Yeah.
I think
The simulation is glitching.
I think what's gonna bring them all together is
the power of friendship.
John Walker doesn't become Captain America.
Motherfucker.
The universe just starts destroying itself, and they need to call.
I would like to throw out there, if John Walker never became Captain America, bad things would have happened, because nobody would have gotten their shit together. Sam never really would have done anything. John Walker is the antithesis for everything.
Well, yeah, because like if you like, I mean, they would have picked somebody else if they didn't pick him, and if it was like just like a lukewarm, like mediocre like guy that like did he didn't move the needle either way, then yeah, the events would have unfolded in terms of spurring Sam to like take the mantle and even Bucky's development and all that. So,
I mean,
yeah,
what might actually be the final episode and what they're all fighting? Mephisto. And on that note, that's where we're going to end today's episode. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Everyone's socials will be in the description down below, and we'll be back next week for the next episode. Bye.
Bye.